What is up, guys? It is your boy NCSO7 here, and welcome to another review video. Now today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different because usually I make review videos on stuff such as, well, video games. What else do I do? But this review is going to be a little bit different, as since I'm going to be reviewing a specific piece of hardware, no, not the PS5, I'm going to kind of divide this video into two sections. The first section is where I'm going to talk about mainly the hardware itself, if it's good, and any technical difficulties that I have with it, which, yes, there are plenty of those. And then in the second section, I'll talk about some games, talk about how they are. Just note, though, that this is completely my opinion, and yeah, but I will spoil the review right now, though. PlayStation VR is really good. So, without further ado, given the fact that I just spoiled the whole thing, let's go. So, starting off with the hardware itself, it's pretty good. I honestly do think it's much better from the other VR headsets that I've used, or at least I've had. Nintendo Labo VR kit was the first one, and while it was okay VR, it didn't have a head strap. And the games that support it really... Then I had an Oculus Go, which had a head strap, and it was portable, but there were so many cheap games put on there, and there just weren't enough big name titles on there. Like, there was stuff like Smash the Beats, which was okay, but it is no Beat Saber. But PlayStation VR has those big titles. Job Simulator, FNAF VR. Like, there's actually good VR games on here. But, well, I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. Going back to the hardware itself, how does it work? Well, basically, you plug in your VR headset into this box. They give you this box that you essentially basically hook to your PS4 using the HDMI cable thing, and then you just plug the box into another outlet. So you basically need two outlets, one for your PlayStation 4 and then one for your PlayStation VR. And then you turn the VR on, and that's pretty much good to go. Now, you also need a PlayStation camera, and sometimes it can be really weird. Sometimes the game will just not detect you. There are some times where it just does not work normally. Because at the beginning of every game, they make you stand in a specific area to calibrate everything. But sometimes it just does not work well. I've noticed this a lot with Beat Saber, and I've noticed that sometimes the game just does not pick up on where I am. It just doesn't work well. And there is a thing you can do where you hit like the rightmost button on the PlayStation Move controller, or just hold options on the PS4 controller. But sometimes it just does not work right. Trust me, it's happened a few times and it's not very good. But to be honest though, this wasn't that much. Most of the time it works, but it's a little weird. Although, given the fact that I don't have that much room to use my PlayStation VR, maybe that's part of the problem. It kind of varies. But it does work. Though, if you don't have one and plan on getting one, do be ready to have a few technical difficulties every now and then. And then, the hardware itself. How does the VR work? Is it actually good VR? Well, we may as well find that out by talking about some of the games. Now, keep in mind, these are not comprehensive reviews. I will do reviews on some of these games at later dates in more detail. So for right now, I'll kind of just go over them a little bit more broadly and explain how the VR is actually pretty good. Starting with, of course, Job Simulator. Job Simulator is the best VR game ever. This game is so much fun. It has a lot of fun with itself, and it's just such an easy game to play in VR. It also does not require too much as well. So it's very good for people who are just starting out with VR. There isn't really a lot to say about the game, since I'm pretty sure many people have already played the game before, and or have seen gameplay of it. But Job Simulator is really solid. In the game, you basically can work 4 different jobs. One of them being an office worker, one of them being at a gas station store, or actually more of a convenience store, actually. And you just perform different tasks, and it makes very good use of the VR. And using the Move controllers, it is a good experience. while it can sometimes not be the best with tracking where you are, it works really well for the most part, and is a really good showcase of how VR can be so damn immersive. But yeah, Job Simulator, really, really good. If you're gonna get a VR headset, get this game first. Then move on to the next game, that being Beat Saber. Now, I mentioned in my Oculus Go video how Smash the Beats was basically just a discount Beat Saber. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't the worst thing ever, but it felt like such a cheap knockoff. It just didn't really feel that good. But Beat Saber, oh, it's so good. Basically, it's like Fruit Ninja, where you essentially slice notes as they come towards you with music. But it's not just slicing notes. There's actual gameplay involved, as sometimes there'll be these weird areas that you shouldn't have your face or your sticks in, and sometimes they switch up the notes. It's really solid. Really, really solid game. And while it doesn't make the best use of VR ever compared to Job Simulator, because in Beat Saber you're usually just looking forward, but it's so good though. It really, really is solid. It's just such a good game. While Job Simulator was a bit more of a casual game that you kind of play at your own pace, Beat Saber is a lot more of a focused driven game. You really have to focus if you want to do well in the game. So yeah, Beat Saber, pretty good. Next game is Five Nights at Freddy's VR Help Wanted. Oh, this was the game that made me want to get a PlayStation VR almost 2 years ago. And oh boy, this game did not disappoint. For those of you who don't know, FNAF VR is pretty much a collection of FNAF mini-games throughout the series. You could do stuff such as play the first, second, and third FNAF games in VR for some nights, and then there's some other stuff in there as well, such as parts and service, where you actually get up close with the animatronics and perform actions on them. And it's really, really good. I love this stuff. And also Vent Repair. Even though Vent Repair seems to have the most difficult time working properly, Vent Repair is also really solid. Not only that, the game is decently scary enough. The game isn't like FNAF 4 where it's just cheaply scary. With FNAF VR, yeah, it was scary the first few times, but it wasn't enough to make me not want to continue. I still wanted to continue playing the game. And that is really, really cool. So FNAF VR, really solid. If you want a good horror game, this is definitely worth it. And then finally, the last game I'll talk to lengths about is Astrobot Rescue Mission. Now, I do plan to make a review of this game later down the line. Unlike the other VR games I've talked about, this is not one that uses the Move controllers, and this one actually uses your PS4 controller. This is not one where you really move your body around as much as you kind of sit down somewhere and look around. But man, is this such a good platformer game. I'm pretty sure a lot of people who have played Astro's Playroom would say that it's a really, really solid platformer. This is another one of those good ones, so would definitely recommend checking out. It makes a good use of the VR. It just looks really nice. It's got a lot of stuff to it. Fairly easy platinum. Really, really solid game. And those are all the games I'll talk to lengths about, but there's two more I want to talk about for a brief mention. First one being Minecraft. Yes, you could play Minecraft in VR. And it's okay. It's not the worst thing ever, but I don't know. I feel like the sensitivity on the stick is kind of weak. Though, to be fairly honest, this is probably just because I haven't changed the sensitivity of the camera. But I don't know. Minecraft in VR is kind of cool, but it's not really the way I would play Minecraft for a long time. And then finally, Persona 5 Dancing. Yeah, I kind of knew this game had VR, so I kind of just wanted to try it out, and it's not that interesting. It's basically just viewing the character models and looking inside of the rooms. That's pretty much it. You don't really play the game in VR at all, which is also a big bummer, which would have been so easy. It really would have been easy, but alas, it's a bit, I don't know. It's not really something that most people would even try anyways. It's more of a bonus than anything, but yeah. Persona 5 Dancing as well as Persona 3 Dancing, it's a cool bonus, but it's not really anything that good. So that's pretty much the PlayStation VR in a nutshell. Overall, I think it's really, really solid. Compared to the other two headsets that I've had for VR, PlayStation VR is easily the best. It has games that are actually really good. It makes a good use of the VR. while it does have a few technical difficulties every now and then, it's still really solid, and it has some great experiences. So, if you want to get a PlayStation VR, I totally recommend getting one. Either that or finding some where you can play one. But yeah, my final score for this game from 0 to 10, well, not really game, but thing, I will give a PlayStation VR an 8.5 out of 10. I think it's pretty decent, and it's probably one of the better VR headsets you could get. Of course, you could also get like an Oculus, but if you got a PS4, I'd recommend checking out the PlayStation VR. It's really cool. But that'll do it for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you're brand new. And yeah, so anyways, that is it for this video. Peace out, take care, have a good day.